Good morning. This morning we're going to brew coffee and we're just going to do this little instructional video to make it easy for everybody. So first off we have the brewer. This is just a pour over brewer. And so this is not feeding water to it. You're going to pour water into the brewer to make it go. And so the first thing is that make sure that we're not plugging this in unless we know that there's water inside. Great way to know that there's water inside is to just pour a little water inside. Okay, so Bruin's putting some water in here, making sure it's full. You'll know because it starts to drip out. I'm gonna go ahead and plug it in because there's some water in it now at least, and I believe it will start to drip. Oh, there it is, yeah, it's going. Okay, so now it's safe to heat. Okay, so when the water is all the way done dripping out, we're gonna refill it with 50 ounces. Get this refilled with 50 ounces of water, and then we're gonna let the machine continue to heat. As it's heating, it's gonna be boiling. That means it's gonna make a rumbling sound just like when you boil water on the stove. So you hear the rumbling, and you can leave for about 5 or 7 minutes from this machine and get other things ready because that's how long it's gonna take. But you can come back, put your ear near it, and if you stop hearing the rumbling sound, then that means that it's clicked off, that the thermostat has picked up that it's hot enough and it's ready. Once it does that, then you pour your water. Next up, we're gonna go ahead and get the grounds ready because the machine is heating up right now. So we've got our scale here. We're just gonna turn that on with the top left button. It says hello. And then we're gonna make sure that we have the right measurement that we're working with. So everything's written on the side of the machine. You don't have the video. It's not that nice right now. We're gonna remake this one. But it is showing you the throw, which is how much grounds you put in there for the water. So what I would tell you is that you just fill that up, get it pretty close to 50 ounces. Make sure that this machine is set to ounces. And so the top left button switches you from grams to ounces to milliliters. So we're gonna go with ounces, make sure it's at 0. And we're gonna take the paper filter and we're gonna use a cup. There is a plastic cup provided with the ground coffee that is regular. There's also another bin that has decaf and it has a cup with that as well. I don't like to mix those two things up just because there is more coffee maybe left behind in the cup and I don't want somebody thinking they're getting decaf, which decaf isn't caffeine free, but it's pretty close. Okay, and so what you're gonna do is fill the cup up. It's gonna take a couple passes of this, but what we're trying to do is just hit that range of 4.2 ounces. Now, if you see a different number on the side because we've adjusted something, maybe because we adjust the coffee, follow whatever's on the machine at the time because that may change from time to time based on the blend and the roast. So much fun. All right, here's the fun part. Just keep putting a little bit, watch it climb. 4.2. Okay, it's 4.3, no sweat. That's not a problem, okay? Matter of fact, last weekend I did a little bit higher than that and it was really good. So I'm actually gonna go up a little bit because I'm the chef. All right, there we go, 4.4. Okay, so we just take that, put it inside the brew basket right here. You want to make sure that the walls, it's not wet right now. Sometimes it's helpful when it is a little bit wet because you want the paper to stick to the side of the wall. So you might just have to press it, but you don't want the paper folding over. If the paper folds over, the water's going to hit it, fold it down, and it's just not going to spread the water over the grounds very evenly. So we want it like that. And then here in the machine, there are two sides. You've got one side that's got these little kind of block stumps here. That's not the side to put this in on. The other side has kind of a little ramp. So you want to put it in on that side. So that is everything. So what it's going to do now is it's going to rumble, and then when the rumbling stops, then you'll know that it's time to go ahead and pour your 50 ounces in. That'll take a few minutes to brew, and when that's done, the machine is actually at that hot point now. It won't really need to reheat that quickly. It's reheating the whole time. So when you're done and you make a pot, you can listen for the rumbling again. Because remember, it's only going to make a half of one, and you need to make another one to fill it. So when the rumbling, if the rumbling isn't even happening, that means it is ready. The machine has stopped with its rumbling, and so I'm just gonna pour the water in. You guys see? absolutely no noise at all before it was getting a steady rumbling going. When that's getting really loud, you know that it's almost done. There we go. A couple minutes, we'll have coffee. We didn't mention decaf, so let's talk about decaf. So you're going to need a different pot. Obviously, we want it labeled decaf so that you make sure that the good people aren't fooled. And so we're going to have a basket and a filter here. And again, we're going to go back to our scale. Turn it on with nothing on it. Make sure it's set to ounces. And we do a different weight with decaf. And also, you'll notice a decaf bag is labeled decaf. Often it has an orange tag on it. That's not always true. You definitely want to read the label just to make sure. I've been fooled by that before. It's really important that you use the cup that goes with the bag and that you follow the weight. So it's 3.9 instead of the 4.2. So we already know that it needs to be made with less grams. So we're going to go ahead and get that back up. Put it in the basket, and just as before, we'll put it inside and we're going to pour water over. So whenever you have already got your pot brewed, you're ready to go, 50 ounces of water, pour that in with the brew basket in place, and you're good.